Have you ever just, stared at the internet thinking there has to be a way for me to use my skills, make some real money online, but then you just get hit by this wall of information? So much conflicting advice, right? And this fear of, like, where do I even begin? We totally get it. That promise of financial freedom, working your own hours, well, it's really appealing. But yeah, the path feels kind of foggy. Well, today we're going to try and cut through some of that fog. We're doing a deep dive into a guide called The Digital Goldmine: How to Make Money Online, Build Passive Income, and Start Your Online Business from Scratch. And this isn't just a quick look. We're going to properly break it down for you. Someone who kind of gets the online world but maybe needs that structured path. Or perhaps you know someone who does, a friend, maybe a colleague. Or maybe you just want to sharpen your own game. Okay, so our mission today, let's unpack the core strategies in this digital goldmine. What does it actually promise? What specific steps does it offer? We want to see how it tries to make sense of online earning, especially for someone starting, like, completely from scratch. It makes a pretty bold claim right off the bat, doesn't it? That it can help anyone turn their skills into actual income and unlock real financial freedom. It talks about tapping into this billion-dollar digital economy.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how heavily it leans into the beginner aspect. So many guides out there, they kind of assume you already know the basics, maybe some marketing stuff or tech skills. But this one seems to genuinely go back to square one. It anticipates that feeling of being overwhelmed, which is huge. It feels less about like a quick hack and more about building something solid, something sustainable. It promises this step-by-step way to build not just one, but multiple income streams, and then scale that. Turn a side hustle into a proper full-time online business. It's about the long game, really.
That's a really important distinction. It's not just throwing out buzzwords. It seems to acknowledge that this huge digital economy isn't just for the experts anymore. It's opened up. Anyone can potentially find their spot, right?
Yeah.
Connect with customers anywhere. It feels like it's trying to lower the barrier to entry for entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
And it gets that the fear of starting is maybe the biggest hurdle for a lot of people. It
Yeah.
speaks to those dreams, working from home, launching that online shop, maybe mastering something specific like affiliate marketing. It offers a map, basically.
Exactly, a roadmap to ease that where do I even start paralysis.
Okay, so
Right.
here's where it gets really interesting, because it doesn't just talk big picture. It lays out a specific framework. 6 core pillars, it calls them. A system to simplify
Yeah,
things.
making it digestible.
Let's dive into the first one. Passive income. This is like the holy grail everyone talks about, isn't it? Making money while you sleep, minimal effort after setup. We all get the appeal, but how does this guide make it realistic for a beginner? Someone maybe without a ton of cash to start. What's its angle?
Well, what stood out to me was its focus on creating assets. It doesn't just push, say, ad revenue, which often needs massive traffic that beginners just don't have. Instead, it really guides you towards making digital products. Think ebooks, maybe simple online courses, printables, that kind of thing. It's honest about the upfront work. Passive doesn't mean no work ever. There's a big initial lift. But then, crucially, it gives you strategies for repurposing that content smartly, finding those evergreen topics that stay relevant, need fewer updates. It's a more sustainable approach, I think, than just chasing quick viral hits. Build it once, profit repeatedly. That's the core idea it drills down on.
Okay, that makes sense. Asset creation, not just chasing clicks. Setting realistic expectations about the initial effort, but showing the long-term value. Good stuff. All right, that leads nicely into pillar number 2, affiliate marketing. So promoting other people's products for a commission. Most of us get the basic concept. But what's the guide spin for beginners? How does it suggest making that connection between a product and an audience actually work effectively?
Yeah, a lot of guys just say pick a product, get traffic. This one takes a step back. It really emphasizes trust and building authority in a specific niche first. It encourages you, as a beginner, to actually connect with an audience before you start pushing products hard. Find a micro niche, something you're genuinely passionate about or know something about.
So authenticity is key.
Exactly. Add real value. Your recommendations then become more credible.
Yeah.
More like curation than just being a walking ad. That's a common trap for beginners. They just plaster links everywhere and wonder why nothing converts. It often leads to burnout, too. So the guide stresses building your platform first, even a simple blog or a focused social media presence as the foundation. Then monetize.
Right. Build the community, earn the trust, then recommend. Makes
Mhm.
sense for long-term success. Okay, pillar 3, e-commerce. Selling physical products online, we get it, but starting an online store can feel huge. Inventory, risk. How does the digital goldmine help beginners navigate choosing the right niche and platform to, like, minimize that initial risk.
It really hammers home the importance of market research, even if you're starting super small.
Yeah.
It gives you actual steps, practical ways to find unmet needs or underserved niches. So you're not just jumping on some trend everyone else is already selling. It's about finding your specific gap in the market.
More strategic.
Yeah, much more. And then it walks you through picking the right platform, Shopify, Etsy, maybe even just using social media initially based on your comfort level with tech and how much you can invest up front. It's very focused on that lean startup idea for e-commerce. Start small, test your idea, prove it works, then scale. Don't dump all your savings into inventory on day one.
Okay, lean startup, market research first. That's smart. Avoids costly mistakes. That connects really well to the fourth pillar, doesn't it? Drop shipping, often sold as the easy way into e-commerce because you don't handle inventory. But we know there are pitfalls. How does the guide tackle the tricky parts, like finding reliable suppliers or ensuring product quality, things that often put beginners off?
Yeah, it's true. No inventory sounds great, but the guide is quite clear. Success isn't automatic. It actually spends quite a bit of time on supplier vetting.
Mm.
That's critical. It lays out like a checklist or a process for beginners, how to find good suppliers, how to talk terms with them, even suggesting doing test orders yourself to check the product quality and, importantly, the shipping times.
So practical checks.
And it talks about managing customer expectations too. Being upfront about shipping times, how to handle returns smoothly. It really gets into those operational headaches that are often glossed over. It gives you strategies to build a trustworthy brand, even though you never physically touch the product. And let's be honest, that's where a lot of dropshipping ventures fail the back-end stuff.
That's super valuable, tackling the back-end logistics head on. Okay, moving on. Pillar 5, freelancing, using your own skills, offering services directly online. For many, this seems like the most direct route, right? Use what you already know. But how does the guide help you go from zero, maybe no portfolio, to actually building a sustainable freelance business, not just finding one-off gigs?
It pushes specialization really hard, right from the start. And defining your value proposition. So instead of just saying, I'm a writer, it encourages you to niche down, like, I write blog posts for SaaS companies, or I do product photography for Etsy sellers, something specific and in demand.
They make you stand out.
Exactly. Then it guides you on creating a portfolio, even if it's small at first. Maybe using spec work projects you do just to show your skills or small projects for friends. Just get something online. And crucially, gives advice on pricing, how to set rates that are fair but also profitable, and how to use platforms like Upwork or Fiverr effectively without just getting into a price war. It's about building a reputation and client relationships strategically, not just reactively grabbing any low-paying gig.
Nice. Tactical advice on niching down, building that initial proof, and pricing. That's gold for new freelancers. Okay, finally, the sixth pillar, online business for beginners. This sounds like the umbrella bringing it all together. How does the guide help you, the beginner, actually integrate these different strategies to build those multiple income streams and really scale up from a side hustle?
Yeah, this section is kind of the glue. It's not just listing methods. It provides a framework for how they can work together. Synergy, basically. It encourages you to think, okay, maybe the money I make from freelancing could fund starting my dropshipping store. Or the content I create for my affiliate site could be turned into an ebook that's passive income.
Connecting the dots.
Precisely. It covers the basic tech setup too, choosing a domain name, setting up a simple website, the foundation that can support multiple projects. It's about building an ecosystem where your different efforts support and boost each other. This helps you avoid just jumping from one shiny object to the next, which is so common. It promotes a more strategic, long-term view on how to actually scale.
Building an ecosystem, I like that. Okay, so it's not just theory then. The guide stresses it's packed with actionable tips, proven methods, and real-world examples. And when you're starting out, that practical step-by-step stuff is everything, isn't it? Expert, you've seen a lot of these guides. What actually makes one actionable for a beginner, and does this one seem to hit that mark?
Well, actionable really means it tells you how, not just what, step by step, often with examples you can actually relate to. The digital goldmine seems to do that by breaking down big, scary processes into smaller, manageable tasks. Like if you're stuck on finding a freelance niche, it doesn't just say find one. It might suggest specific keyword tools to check demand, walk you through evaluating your skills against what people are actually paying for, and give examples of good niche definitions.
Concrete examples.
Yeah. Or for e-commerce, maybe it shows you exactly how to set up that first product listing, tips for writing descriptions that sell. The fact that it's delivered as, what, 2 PDF files totaling like 9 MB? That suggests there's enough space in there for that kind of detailed, practical walkthrough. It aims to cut through the general advice clutter that often leaves beginners feeling more confused than helped.
Right. So, what does this all mean for you listening right now? This guide, the Digital Goldmine, positions itself as a way to get that knowledge quickly but properly. Cut through the noise, get some clarity. It seems designed to bridge that gap between wanting to start and actually, doing something.
Yes, exactly. By taking these different online money-making strategies and laying them out clearly, step by step, for beginners, the aim is to give you the clarity and, maybe more importantly, the confidence. Confidence to unlock that financial freedom everyone talks about, or just to confidently start that side hustle you've been thinking about. It's about getting those aha moments where something complex suddenly makes sense, and then having the practical steps right there so you can take action immediately. That feels like the real value here for someone wanting to make a real change.
Mm-hmm. And just practically speaking, for anyone whose interest is piqued, the guide is available for purchase. It's listed at £9.99, currently on sale, apparently. And you can get it through platforms like PayHip. So it's a straightforward digital download, ready to go if you want to check out that actionable advice yourself. Okay, so let's quickly recap the main takeaways from our deep dive into the digital gold mine. It really does cover a lot of ground, doesn't it?
It is.
From creating genuinely passive income streams, understanding the nuance there, and doing affiliate marketing authentically, to setting up an e-commerce store the smart way, handling dropshipping logistics, or building a solid freelance career from scratch.
And all specifically angled for the absolute beginner.
Exactly. It tries to give you not just a list of options, but an integrated plan, a blueprint to turn those online business dreams into something real. So here's a final thought to leave you with. We talked about this billion-dollar digital economy. It's huge. It's always changing. So what little corner of it, what untapped niche might be waiting for your unique perspective? What skill do you already have right now that maybe with a bit of structure like this guide offers could be the start of your own digital gold mine? Something to think about perhaps after listening to our deep dive today. Where does your potential fit into this massive digital landscape?